Okay, hi everybody. Today I'm going to do a quick review of the Mardel Simple Plan Homeschool Family Planner for 2015-2016. I'm going to do somewhat of a side-by-side review, comparing it to last year's 2014-2015 homeschool planner. So, let's just get started. The first thing I noticed was that this year's planner has the same good quality cover with an inside pocket as last year's planner, which is nice. It was a nice, good, sturdy. I mean, you can see I have used it pretty much to death, and there are no tears on the cover. It has held up really well. So I'm hoping this is, in fact, the same quality. It feels like it. And if it is, it should hold up just as well. But something I did notice was different that I'm not crazy about is the spiral on this year's is smaller. I think this is probably, I didn't measure it. I don't know, probably a ½ inch to an inch, probably a ½ inch smaller than last year's spiral. If I do a side-by-side comparison there, you can see it is a little bit smaller. I'm not sure that you can really tell. When I stack them, you can really tell that it's smaller than last year's. What else? As far as the size, at first it looks like this one's smaller, but I think it's because it's not stuffed full of all of my papers. When I did compare the sizes, it is the same height and the same width as last year's planner. So it is the same size in that aspect. I want to show you the inside. I tore the front page, the welcome page, out of my planner, but there's a welcome page that comes in the planner, and then the first tab you come to is the general information tab, and behind that is a My Children page, and it's just their name, their birthday, age, grade, and what they like, and it's just sort of like a memory page for this school year, and then there's more on the back. So you can record up to 6 students in this particular planner. Now, what I did notice was last year, and I'm not going to show you the page because I filled it out. Last year, there was a family page that told you the name of the family, the address, the phone number, and an email. I guess it was kind of like a contact page, so if you were to lose the planner, someone could contact you, but I don't think it's that important. When I find, if I were to find a book or a folder or any type of schoolwork or something of someone's, maybe at co-op or homeschool group or left at church, I would probably look at the inside cover. So I don't think it's a big deal that the family page is missing or the information page is missing. You could simply write it on the folder on the inside of the cover. I think that's where most people are going to look anyway. So that's not a huge deal. Then they give you a planning tab. Now the planning tab gives you some instructions, and then it has a Bible verse, just like last year. Last year had the exact same thing. I think the words were probably the same. I'm not 100% sure. I haven't actually sat down and read them. Then they give you a spread, both planners, just like last year. This year has a spread for 2015-2016 with the holidays listed and their dates. So it actually gives you the day that it's going to be each year, because you know some holidays change, are floating holidays. And then they give you dates to remember, which is nice. And then it goes right into planning, your weekly schedule, your yearly overview, and you have one of those for each student, which is nice. So that was all for student 1, and then student 2, and it goes on and on and on. Seems like I missed a page here. Maybe I didn't. Okay, so maybe that's interesting. Something I just noticed. Well, there are sample pages. Somewhere in here there are sample pages. Maybe behind general information. I'm sorry. So behind general information, there they are. Sample pages. Sample pages. There they are. Of how to fill out your planner. Or different ways you could fill out your planner. It gives you ideas. Some of us are overthinkers, or maybe we're just challenged when it comes to planning. I'm an overthinker, so I kind of think, oh my gosh, what could go here, what could go there, what would be the best layout, and they give you examples for that. Okay, and for every type of planning page that you have, which is we'll get there. Anyway, so then they have the planning pages for you to plan, and the planner starts in July of 2015. Last year's started in July of 2014, which is nice. I ordered my planner in May. It got here within about 4 days. I think they're usually available for purchase in May, and they sell out usually before Christmas, I think. Last year I was in a Facebook group, and someone suggested this specific planner and gave examples of how she used it. And a ton of us went online, excuse me, and purchased the planner. And before the end of the thread was done, the comment section on that particular post was done, the planner had sold out. So I would say, and that was in like August or September that I bought the planner. Maybe July or August. So I think it's a pretty popular planner. So you might want to quickly get on there and get it purchased if you do decide this is the planner for you and your family. So it starts in July. I'm going to start my review with August because last year's August was not filled out. But last year's July was more filled out. So we'll just start there with August. When I turn to the August tab, you have the date with the year and a Bible verse, just like last year's. In the 2014 planner, the Bible verse is the exact same as this year's. So the Bible verse doesn't change. That may or may not be a pro or con to you. It doesn't really bother me. I like reading them. I think they're good inspiration for memory work. I mean, if you're challenged sometimes with what to have your students memorize, there's a good Bible verse to use for the month, or for a few weeks, depending on their age. Then the first page always has an at-a-glance page for August. So you can list out things to accomplish, special activities, supplies needed, and reading list, which is nice. I didn't utilize this as much as I would have liked to last year. This year is going to be my real trial run before I have to register my daughter with the state. And although we're going to be living in a state that doesn't require that much record keeping, I do want to keep those records because who knows, you may end up in a state that does require those, and I just, for my benefit, I'd like to have my bases covered, and you never know when laws might change. So I plan on really working this year to keep as much recorded as I can consistently. And I plan on utilizing this section a lot more for doing that. The next page behind each month is going to be the monthly spread. I love this section. The boxes are nice and big. You have notes lines and prayer requests. You have calendars for the previous month and the next month, so you can count weeks. You can do all that from right here looking at your current month page, and that's really nice, especially, you know, because just like anything in life, things change. So just being able to see the weeks and before and after, that's really nice. The page is nice and big. There's a nice background design. There's also a Bible verse. And I'm looking, yes, the Bible verse is the same this year as it was last year. That seems a little odd to me. I'm kind of surprised they didn't change them. But, again, it's not a deal breaker for me. I like the planner enough that it doesn't bother me at all. And then this is what each weekly spread looks like. The design that is going on for that month continues throughout the weeks in the background. And you have, for each weekly spread, the dates written across the top and down the side, weekly assignments with empty blank boxes for you to write, and then a spot to write your assignments. I know some people put their students here, and then with each assignment for the day for each subject on a line. Other people use this for their subjects and these lines for each student's work. I think it just depends on how many students you have, how you like to write your workout, if you like to abbreviate, if you like to be a little more specific. It just depends. A lot of people like to color code their students when they use the lines so that they can see. How you use it is up to you. Regardless, it is very nice. There's lots of room, I think. Right now, I have 3 children. Only one of them is really going to be school age. The other is still preschool, but I do write his activities down in the planner, and I feel like there's plenty of room for that and plenty of room to add in my 3rd student eventually. Excuse me. Under the notes section, I usually write the memory verse we're working on and the songs and finger plays that we do during our circle time. And then I write down my Sunlight book list, and I'll show you an example of how I do that actually. So that I'm not having to lug around the Sunlight schedule. I do keep the weekly Sunlight schedule like behind the page that I'm working, but I just like to have it written here, and then I can just carry this around and it's all right here on one page. And I just like that. That works for me. But I'm only doing 1 core. If I were doing more than 1 core, that probably wouldn't work out very well. And I would need to keep the instructor guide schedule with me and refer to that. So, but I will show you how I do write that out real quick, just if you're interested. And if you're not, I'm sorry. But, so, this is how I would write. I would abbreviate the book, and I would write the days of the week. We don't do school on Wednesday. That's cleaning day. So in the morning we clean and do our chores for the week. But Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, we do school, and I'll write down the pages that we need to read and mark them off as I go. And that way I don't have to write on my instructor guide. I do look through the instructor guide and look at the activities that are included, because they include some fun extra activities, and those I write down either down here in the notes section or actually under the assignments if I plan on doing them and including them as part of our curriculum for math or fine motor or science or whatever it might be. I just write it down with the assignments. So that's how I do that. And I do have room to write 2 cores, I guess. So if I were doing 2 cores, I could still fit them on there. But that's pretty much it. Other than that, it is the same as last year. Other than those few things, like I think yeah, you can see the spiral is smaller this year, and that one family page is not there. Then after all of your months, the planner goes from July of 2015 until June of 2016. Behind that you have the student records tab, and this gives you a Bible verse again with the title page, which is just like last year's, and it gives you a page to write the student's name, and then you can mark their attendance. Oh, I tried last year to use this and I kept forgetting it was there I'm really bad about not using the whole planner. I'm really bad about just using the week I'm on. I'm not good about looking at the whole month spread page. I'm not good at looking back at my plans because I do keep them in multiple places. So this year my goal is to utilize the entire planner all the time, not just when I'm writing things down the first time. So one of the really cool things is this takes all the guesswork out for you. Mark each day the student was present in class or each day that was completed. And you do that on the calendar, and then you just write out the total days. And, you know, you take the number of hours that are required by your state, divide it into the number of days you plan on doing school, and then you know how many days you need to complete for each semester or for the entire year, however you want to mark it off. And you can mark the days that you know y'all won't be doing school, or that you know you have a holiday. When I do plan, I like to mark, like, I know Thanksgiving week. Well, I know that's a holiday, and I know that's generally a holiday week. But I do like to do school that week, simply because it's an easy week to do school. And I really like to save vacation days for more around Christmas or for when we're traveling, because when we go to see family, most of the time we're too busy to sit down and do like full-fledged school. Of course, we might include some learning, but just not all of our regular learning. So anyways, you can mark the holiday, I guess is what I'm saying. I just mark the holidays, and then the days that we don't do school, I mark in a different color. That way it stays flexible for me, but that's just me. Okay, so you have 6 pages like that for up to 6 students. If you don't have 6 students, I guess you could tear those extra pages out, and then you wouldn't have to worry about them being there, and you would have a little more room in your planner. Then you have a curriculum tracker page, and I believe, yeah, you just have one of those pages. Well, 2, I guess. 1, 2, 3. So 3 columns. But the subject, grade, curriculum, name, or the publisher of the curriculum, source, price, and notes. Additional materials purchased, and related subjects. So that's kind of odd. I don't know. I didn't use it last year because I was really just planning for one student. But I think this year I probably will end up using it. It seems kind of odd. 1, 2. Not really a whole lot of room for if you had more than one student, or more than a few, maybe 2 students. But it's still there if you'd like it. You could always make a copy of the page, and if you needed more room, and stick it over here. And then we have the extras tab. And excuse me, they've included a grading chart, which is nice. Of course, you can get these online free just about anywhere. That's pretty cool. And then again, I forget to utilize the entire planner, so I haven't ever really used these pages. This is really nice. Suggested reading list for the grade level, the author, so you know who to look for. That's pretty cool. So if you wanted to just add in some good reading, they offer that. And then this is new. This is different. Okay. Last year's planner went straight into contact information for extracurricular activities. So I guess activity group, leader, phone number, email, and notes. And they give you lots of spots for that, which is nice because sometimes you have multiple students in multiple activities. So it's pretty cool. Wow, 3 pages. Okay, and then they have notes pages. So this is last year's. Wow, lots of notes pages I didn't use. Okay. And then that's the end of the planner, and you have the back pocket cover again. What I really liked, excuse me, about this planner is, like I said, that nice big spiral was really nice because I could load the planner up. I tend to add a lot of extra stuff in my planners and tote it around with me. And so that planner never got so over full that it tore the cover. So that was really nice having that extra big spiral. But this year's planner has a different, after your reading list, steps to salvation, my salvation testimony. Oh, that's pretty cool. I don't know. Suggested scriptures to memorize. This is pretty neat. And then it has your extracurricular contact information that we had in last year's planner. Oh no! It has 3 of those pages, but then it only has 2 notes pages. So that's too bad. Last year had lots of notes pages. I didn't use them, so I guess it's not that big of a deal. And then it has the nice big pocket on the back too, again. So that is this year's Mardel Simple Plan Homeschooling Family Planner. A few differences, not a whole lot. We'll see how the coil holds up for me this year. It is a plastic coil, which is okay. The only downside to this coil, and it really started to bother me towards the end of this year. As you can see, I can't get it through. The coil has these little, I can't get to it, I'm sorry. At the end of the coil, it's supposed to have these little, see that little plastic piece right there that I'm wiggling? To keep the coil from coming unspiraled. Now, mind you, my planner, I used it all the time, but I only used it at home. It never left home. It never went to a group, or I never toted it around really in a bag to and from co-op or anything like that. And that little plastic piece that keeps it from uncoiling broke off, and it does cause it to come unspiraled. Anytime you have a plastic spiral, I think that's something you really just have to watch. I didn't really think about it, and I guess I broke it on accident. Not the bottom one, just the top one. And it comes undone all the time because I'm constantly taking my planner and folding it over on itself. And so it's constantly coming uncoiled on that top, and it drives me crazy. So, as part of this review, I'm just going to add in that I may arc my homeschool planner. If you've seen my video on arcing my Erin Condren Life Planner that I use for my everyday planning, I love it. I still love it. It's been 6 months, 7 months, and I just still love it arced. I can take pages in and out. It has held up really well. But that is for a much smaller planner that's only like this tall and this wide, and it's not as heavy as this. I don't know if I would like this heavy or large of bulky of a planner to be arced. I just don't know. So we will see. Hopefully, I mean, I don't imagine this spiral will hold up any better than this one. I'm sure at some point that tab will break and it will drive me crazy. So that's a downside, but short of having a bulky binder or a metal coil, which would be really cool, but they're probably not going to do that because the price would go up on the planner. This is really the only option. So that is it for the planner, and the price, I believe, is about $20. I think it was $19.99 or $20 plus a little bit of shipping. And to me, that's not too much. I know you can print your own homeschool planner and make your own pages and customize, and I think that's great, and you can totally do that. But this, for me, had everything I needed. Obviously, it had more than I needed because I didn't utilize all of it. And it's a great planner overall and with a reasonable price. So that's it. Thanks for watching.